Toxic. She call me toxic.
Yeah, I bet.
She call me toxic.
So cliche,
Swear I am not shit.
but I'm not though.
She call me toxic cause I won't simp out. Never get phased or react to a big mouth. She call me toxic.
She call me toxic.
She call me toxic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and like I always answer this question a lot because people seem to throw it around. They're like, "How is Ice Spice so popping? How is she so popping?" I'm like, okay, and I break it down to people. Here's the thing with Ice Spice. We know Ice Spice can't really rap. We know this. We know all she do is she go in the booth.
That cute
She
little ditty
sound
bop.
pretty.
That's what
She
I.
look
That's what I'm talking.
pretty. You know,
Little ditty bop, bounce around.
yeah. But here's the thing with Ice Spice. Men want to fuck Ice Spice, and women want to listen to who men want to fuck because it makes them feel pretty too. That's it.
That's a
Women want to
fact.
be like Ice Spice,
That's
and
a
men
fact.
want to fuck Ice Spice. You can go any successful, commercially successful female rapper in the past 20 years. It has always been like that. Either men want to fuck or women want to be like them. And then they'll have the relatability portion because then women to think that it's easier to be like them. That's how Nicki Minaj, when she first came out and she was calling herself a Barbie. Well, oh, generations of women played with Barbies. They're like, and then she's, if you can be a
Right,
Barbie, I can
right.
be a Barbie. And then we all talked about Cardi. When you look at, I'll even put Remy in there before, she crashed out. Um, Remy just had this.
Hmm.
Every hood chick wanted to be Remy. Like, every
Yes,
hood chick wanted to
yes,
be Remy.
yes,
Like,
yes.
and
That's a fact.
like
That's a
now you
fact.
looking at Ice Spice, you look at I can't. Well, Meg has been successful, but for some reason, like it's not resonating. Like her album sales,
Megan
right?
resonates
It's
very
just because she
powerfully
tall as
in the
fuck.
South because Meg the Stallion, that's
Everybody
Southern
needs a
slang,
representative.
and she cornbread fed Southern girl, so she resonates more down here. Hmm. Exactly.
Everybody
I
needs a
agree.
representative,
Hmm.
bro.
Like
Yeah.
Everybody needs
Meg,
a representative. She represents the
I
South.
agree. And then like even with Justina talking about how women are running shit, like the craziest part is, I'm on Twitter looking at stuff. It's the NBA free agency, so I'm on Twitter all day. But a lot of these women are not selling the records that people think they're selling. There's really only there's really
They
only
not.
about three women selling records right now. If you
Put one
want
of
your
them on it.
single
You
to
put Cardi
pop,
on it.
you putting
Hmm.
Cardi or Nicki Minaj on it. Yeah,
Hmm.
or Nicki, because Nicki right now,
Nicki Minaj is trying to come
yeah.
back. Yeah, she coming
And
back.
as far as
She not
album
playing.
sales, like yo, Coila Ray just put an album out and it sold
Hmm.
like 10,000 copies. And she
Yeah.
signed to a major label.
But it be because you can do all these singles and have all these club bangers, but like I said, just because you can freestyle doesn't mean you can
Yep.
make a song. And just because you
I
can
mean,
make
you
a
can
hit
make an
song doesn't mean
album.
you can make a hit
Exactly. So
project.
it's like, are they?
Cause that's multiple. That's you got to get it
Yeah,
right every
and
single time, and it got to be blended well. It can't be all
that's
over the place. It got to have a
that's true.
concept. Like,
And when we look at, the ones who have been around for a while, like I still laugh. Like Cardi's still getting money
Bill.
off an album she put out. What is it?
Bill.
It's been like
she's
5 years,
still getting money
five,
off of that. That shit's
6
still on
years.
the charts. It's still on the charts. That shit's still on the charts. I'm not gonna hold you. When I listened to that, I did not skip one
But
song.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't skip,
she's
and I
still
listened to it on
getting
shuffle, so I didn't even
uh
listen to it in the order that
reaching,
it came
what
out.
is it? Like first female artist to do this off of Bodak Yellow.
To do this,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yep, that's a
And
fact.
that's what I'm saying.
That's a
And
fact. She's
she
still hitting
she took that
milestones.
And with
momentum from Bodak Yellow and she put out a really really good album.
hmm
Like,
A really good, and she was
yeah,
pregnant.
that was the crazy part. Like
And
that
she was
was the
pregnant.
crazy.
She was pregnant doing that whole
That
thing.
was the crazy part. So like,
She ain't tell nobody to
I
the
look
end.
at Justina and again, I'm like even with Cardi getting pregnant, she got pregnant at the perfect time. She got pregnant and married right before the album came out. So it was like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
you an ex stripper.
She was touching hearts and
That's what I'm saying.
souls.
Like, yo,
She
it
was
was so
touching them all over the
everybody
place.
related to her
She
because
was
she was a
hitting
regular
everything.
smuggler girl from the Bronx. Then she started stripping. Then she went on
Mm-hmm.
TV. She went from TV to had a music. Then she got with the rapper nigga, got pregnant, got married. They one big happy family. Boom, here you go.
Album. And then when the album dropped, that's when Offset had cheated, and when Be Careful came out,
Everybody was like, yo.
everybody thought that Be Careful was about him, but she's like,
Yep.
no, I wrote that mad long ago, but it's still
Yep.
all
Sure
about
It's
did.
about timing.
timing and shit
It's
like that.
about
So all
timing.
those things worked out for
And
her.
that's what I'm saying. Like with Justina, I can't see it. I get why white women kind of have struggles getting into music, and that's because they don't have no identity.
Okay.
And it goes back to what I tell people: white women are the most coddled and protected
Mm-hmm.
demographic in America.
And they
They
think
don't go through
everything should
shit
be
for
given
real.
to them.
I mean, you may have
No, that's a
some
fact.
white women that
It's and like I said, like
exactly.
it's a taste of their own medicine, and they don't know how to act. Like we're used to being shunned in spaces and not being given opportunities and avenues, so we go create them for ourselves. But for them, it's just beyond them
Mm-hmm.
why
Mm-hmm.
a white girl
Yeah.
with such talent can't get in.
Like, I can't come in.
Hola, hola.
Yeah, he is.
It's crazy because oh,
Hello.
hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I think I've definitely seen your face before.
Yeah, that's my bro. Solid. My song Solid of Toxic Masculinity.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
that's the
okay,
bro.
okay,
That's the
okay,
bro.
okay. I fuck with you.
But
I like that song.
what's up,
That song is
Alpha?
solid.
We just talking about Justina Valentine. I sent you that video,
Seems
man.
like he
So
got
do
something real good to
you
say.
think she has a point about her not being mainstream successful because she's a white woman and no one wants to hear white women rappers, or do you think she just making excuses?
Um, she making excuses, bro. And the only reason why I'm gonna say that is because you're white. You have a fan base. You have white people. And white, like I don't know
You know
what
what
fan
fan
base
base
you're
she
looking
looking
for,
for.
but you have a fan base. Trust me.
She want the black people
She
on her
wants the
side.
niggas.
Once black people like you lit.
Like,
But the crazy part is, white people buy more music and buy more merch and go to more
then
concerts
niggas.
than black people do.
That's
Hmm.
why people like. That's why people go to pop because once they see that pop money,
And that,
once they get a taste of that
Right.
little pop money, they lose their
but
minds.
see,
The little Uzi Vert.
exactly. But see, she don't have
No,
a
not at
pop
all.
voice.
Nah,
Oh hell
nah.
no. She got a garage band
What's
voice.
crazy is like she ain't even a. She's not a bad rapper. You feel what I'm saying? Like she's not a
She not.
bad rapper. You know what I'm saying? Justina Valentine.
Nope.
But that's her name, right?
Yeah, something like that. See, look, he don't even know her name. He said Justina Valentina. He don't even know her
Yeah,
name.
I'm
I
crying.
definitely don't, bro.
Just seeing a
I don't
Valentina.
be, I don't be. I'm bad with names in general. So, like,
Dumb, retarded, stupid with the name.
hey
I
man,
think she should
hey,
change careers.
I think she should
I'm
change
with
her
T
hair color.
Tone at the moment. I'm in the trap. You know what I'm saying? This nigga's
That part.
funny as hell.
I,
Like she
I,
really
I
should.
But
think
Like
she
she
should
should
change
figure
careers.
out
Like
what else
what?
is and go do
they
that.
see
And
me.
like you said,
She need to go
white
be an
people buy a
actor.
lot of the music and be at the shows and stuff like that. But I don't think
Hey
her
y'all,
doing
this
I
nigga is
don't think
wild.
it's so weird, but I don't think a lot of the white rappers, male or female, or men or women that are rappers would be as popular if they didn't go through the black circuit first. So it's like, okay, yeah, you got
Of
white
course
rappers,
not. They
but
would.
I
Nobody
think
would
white
care.
people
That's
relate
true.
to them because they've been through the black channels. And and it's like they got stamped, and
Hmm.
relating to those white rappers who have been stamped lets them know that maybe one day they too can be stamped. That's, I think they romanticize it.
That's why she rode the feminine wave. She was trying to ride the
Hmm.
feminine wave, talking about I'm the female Eminem, trying to get clout off of that name, and I don't think he ever acknowledged her. I don't see. I never
I
saw anything about him
I honestly
acknowledging
think that
her.
when white rappers come out acknowledging or comparing themselves to Eminem is the worst thing that they can do. It's
The
like
worst.
it's
The
like
fucking worst.
it,
Yes.
I give you an example. It's like I love the NBA, and for the past like 7 years, any skinny small forward or power forward that is 6'9" and up that can dribble and shoot, they call him the next Kevin Durant. The worst thing you can do. Or like
Worst.
when back in the day where everybody was coming in there like, yo, this gonna be the new Michael Jordan. This gonna be the new
That's a
Michael
lot of
Jordan. How
pressure.
many new Michael Jordans flamed out of the NBA? Like it's the worst. It's the worst thing you can do. And Eminem actually hates it. Like if you look at the white rappers he's co-signed, none of them say, "Yo, I'm the next Eminem." Or I give you a perfect example. And this guy, he's not even looking for commercial success, but he has his niche. And in the underground circuit, he going crazy. I don't know if y'all ever heard of a white rapper named Millsies or Millies.
Mm-mm.
He signed to Jadakiss. He's I think
Yeah,
he's
I know what
from
he's talking about. I know what he's talking
yeah,
about.
like he has
Tatted
his
up with the
yeah,
yeah.
like he has his niche. He makes underground street rap. And
Mm-hmm.
he do his shows and all of that. Eminem is somebody that actually has, shouted him out and supported him, but he never was like, "Yo, I'm the next Eminem," or he don't even look remotely
Mm-hmm.
close to Eminem. Like he look hood as hell. Like he don't even look
Like
remotely close to Eminem.
my thing with shit like
There
that
you
is like,
go.
why would you want to be the next
Yep.
somebody any fucking
Trying
way?
to be in
And,
a shadow off
You
top.
know what
Be
I'm saying?
yourself.
Like,
Facts.
Then wonder why people
and
comparing
it,
word,
you.
it
like,
never
nah.
works
Mm-hmm.
because
Hmm.
It's crazy because the kids don't even want to be in their parents' shadow. They want to do other things other than what their parents was doing. So why a random ass stranger that
Hmm.
you never met wanna be all up in your business and try to do what you doing?
so
I don't know. It's weird.
now I,
It's gonna
I, I
be
do want
good.
to shift to the next topic because this one, yeah, this one here, man. So I sent y'all all that video on the fuck nigga and fuck nigga podcast. That's what I call them because they're some bozos. Um, I, I actually have dabbled into that quote unquote. I know it's a cliche term now, but when I was a part of that community, it wasn't the red pill space. So I know all about these dudes. They're frauds. They're corny. They're bozos. They and if anybody is listening to them, that shit is not gonna work.
They're insecure.
But they had a bunch of what appeared to be African American women, but them Twitter streets. I love them Twitter streets. None of those women were African American.
No.
They were all, like Caribbean American, or you know, they
Mm.
came they weren't culturally black. And neither is Fresh and Fit. One is a first generation American from Sudanese immigrants. The other one literally immigrated here from Barbados. So,
Mhm.
they had on Klan hoods, and they had Nick Fuentes on, who is a white supremacist. And, you know, they all gave him a nigga pass and let this white supremacist just go in there saying, the N word or whatever. But then I sent y'all the pictures on after the pod. These chicks are kissing him on the cheek. They're hugged up with him, and it's a spit in the face to my ancestors, and I don't fuck with it. So my question is there a point in time where racism is acceptable? Like, would you give somebody a nigga pass? And should we as African Americans start to differentiate and separate ourselves from the foreign blacks, like the Caribbeans, the Africans, the Europeans, Afro? Latinas and Latinos. Should we start to separate ourselves from it? And Alpha, I'll let you go first since you just came in.
Um, repeat the question one more time. Let me make
So,
sure.
is there a point in time where racism is acceptable? Would you give somebody a nigger pass?
No.
And should we as African Americans start to separate ourselves from foreign blacks? When I say foreign blacks, I mean, the Caribbean, African immigrants, European immigrants, Afro Hispanics. Should we start to separate ourselves from them?
Yes.
Uh, yeah and no. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a human, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really look at it like what part of the country you from, you know what I'm saying? We still fucking black, motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I understand because, like, if you go over there to Africa or something, like, they don't fuck with us. Not at all. Like, they ain't got no respect or nothing. So I feel like, for one, we need to know over here as African Americans, as you want to call it, goddamn, we gotta actually know, understand what the fuck unity is and actually come in the fuck together in order for shit to even fucking happen in the first fucking place. You feel me? Like, I don't know, motherfuckers. I don't know, motherfuckers. I can't say yay or no to that shit. Like, it all depends. Like, it really just depends on the situation. But like with the nigga thing, like, no. Like, only one person got away with saying nigga, and that was Robert De Niro on Bad Grandpa. That's the only motherfucker. You feel me? Like, the only nigga that gonna that.
You don't think Leonardo DiCaprio got away with it in
Oh yeah, oh
Django?
yeah, yeah, yep. Yeah, that too,
Mm-hmm. Sure
yep.
did.
Yo,
Yeah.
you know what's crazy? He
He didn't even want to say
Yo, they
it.
said
yeah,
he
like
had
he
a real hard time, like a real
Hmm.
hard time.
I was like, damn, like they kind of forced him. Like Samuel Jackson was on his top. Like, yo, you better
Better
get
get
this
this
done,
money,
yo.
nigga. See, look, see,
Yeah,
that's what, like, shit like that. That's when it's like, all right, go ahead and say that shit, bro. This movie need to drop, nigga.
yeah, like, I don't.
oh,
So to me personally, like I don't consider that quote unquote racism. Like when it's someone who clearly isn't racist is playing a racist character and is making them uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I don't consider that racism, but yeah, nah, I don't know about that.
So for what about that's the? I mean,
so
it's history, but it ain't real
Yeah, that's
history.
not
But
real history.
isn't it real? That's a real movie, right?
No,
Django, nah,
no.
Django's not
Jing,
real.
but I mean, I guess it feels like it's loosely based off of somebody's life. But
yeah,
like
it is. I
history,
don't think his name was Django though, but yeah.
the for the purposes of history, I mean, I feel like it might have to be allowed in that space.
So I'm gonna ask you, Breeze. Should is there another point? Say outside of acting,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
and
No, nobody can get a
Nope.
pass.
so
I don't. Yo, I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry. I don't trust white people. Like, I don't trust them. I
We
don't
don't blame
know
you.
if
Facts,
they're
man.
being nice to
Facts.
be actually nice, or if they're being nice to try to like get in where they fit in and come be in your space and
Hmm.
do extra stupid stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't trust it. And you could never ask them, and even whatever they
Yeah, they
tell
didn't
you
say
is
that. They
like,
won't admit it.
is that true? Or unless you're in the country, unless you're in the country, because they don't care. They tell you they racist.
Hmm.
But up here in the city, it's hard to tell like who's authentic or who one would consider an ally. Because you got what they call I forget what they call them on the internet, but they're basically like people who pose as allies for the bigger picture, but when they go home and stuff, that ain't their life. Like, that's not they
Closet
only a
racist.
ally when when basically like they only an ally like when it suits them. Like they would never really defend black people when it really mattered or it really counted unless there's like a camera in their
Mm.
face or something like that. So absolutely not. No, and I definitely think that we need to separate ourselves from the different types of. I say that because like I'm from my experience, like I'm only gonna use like Puerto Ricans and like Dominicans because I live in the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx, and I've seen it with Caribbeans also, but those are the groups of people that I have experiences with. Like even Asians, I guess when you go to Chinese store, you could see it. You could just see it. It's very present and there that they're very community based people. Like they will help each other before they help you. And they will make sure that their people are cool before they make sure you're good. Like they will let you get hit by a car and save some old ass lady before they come save your baby. They will save an old person who is of their culture before they save your black ass baby. Like, and I've literally seen it happen. I've seen it happen multiple times, and I'm just like, we don't have nobody. Yo, go somewhere, be quiet.
I see, but
We don't
see,
have nobody that's like, we fight too much. We don't believe each other. And when if I go to my peoples and I'm like, yo, this and this happened, usually the immediate reaction be like, well, what did you do? Like, or what part did you play or something like that. But I don't see that with other people. Like they might tell them about themselves later on when they get home, but outside in front of people they're a unity. They're packed. They're together.
so
They're together. And it's not, I just don't see that in the African American community, and I think that we need a lot more than that because with things like with your kids and stuff, like it's just so hard. They ain't no village no more because everybody want to be for themselves. You don't got grandparents watching kids anymore. You can't even stay in your house when you 18. You got to get the fuck out. But that's
well,
not how other people treat. That's not how other people, other cultures. They don't treat their
we
kids
don't do
like
that.
that. Like
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
dead let you stay until you're in your house until you 30 years
Mhm.
old. You don't got to pay no bills. You don't got to do nothing. Like they don't. They just don't. That's why that lady, the Indian lady, like she's so disowned because she went against their culture. She went against their natural culture, what they grow up to do. And I was watching
Mhm.
something on Hulu called The Parenting Type where these Asian parents, they were like very like you're gonna read from this time to this time. You're gonna do math from this time to this time. And a lot of Asian kids hate that. But that's what they know. We don't have no structure. There's no structure. It's you go to school while I go to work. You go to school while I go to work. I'm not even really gonna help you with your homework because I'm tired and I gotta go to work in the morning. So it's nothing really here for us to fall
Mm,
back on. Everybody else has some type of support system to
but
fall back
see,
on, but we dead
but
ass don't.
see, a lot of that too. Like I've had this conversation with somebody about like the school shit, and you talking about like you be tired and shit, you don't be want to deal with it. That's like type problem right there. Like because um like what we were talking about. All right, so like when I used to go to school and the teacher used to call my parents, I got my ass whooped, even if I was even in the right. I got my ass whooped because I shouldn't be talking back to grown ups, not talking back to my teachers.
That's the culture though. That is our culture.
Now,
Our culture is getting our ass beat.
nowadays, it's oh, your teacher called. Well, uh, I won't in the wrong. Da da da. Oh well, I'm about to go talk to your teacher. Then you put all the blame on the teacher, and the motherfucker just doing his motherfucking or her motherfucking job. He just called. Hey, look, the child in here acting up. I'm letting you know, da da da. And then the child come home and say some shit. And like I ain't saying like all parents are like this. You feel what I'm saying? But a lot of parents are, oh, what would he do when they get in school? Want to start bucking this shit on the teacher and shit? It's like, bro, I'm trying to get your child an education, bro. But I can't get your child your fucking education if this motherfucker in here goddamn acting the ass, or she in here thinking she goddamn Queen B, Beyonce and shit. You feel what I'm
I just
saying?
think
Like,
that when you talk about kids in school, like that comes from home. Like whatever they're going through at home, whether it be positive or
Hmm.
negative, it's always gonna affect what they do in school. Always. No, it's shown time and time again. They if they getting abused, if they being neglected, even if they're not physically
Right.
being abused, if they're being like mentally abused or something like that, they don't know how to let that go at home. So they come to school and they bring that.
They bring
And
that shit. Yeah.
most of the time black children are being some way shape or form mentally and emotionally abused because black people culture is to beat your kids when they're not listening. It's in black culture to discipline your kids when they're not doing what you want them to do and when you have no patience for them. Other people, they don't necessarily do those things. Like they'll talk to you or whatever or even bribe you before they put their hands on you. That's not what happens in black culture. And
See.
that's why we be all over the place because we never figured out. I think millennials now we're trying to figure out how to navigate that, how to keep the respect from an elder and child perspective, but also not like traumatize the kids.
See. I think what it is like a lot of parents run this shit like a democracy, and it should be a dictatorship. You feel what I'm saying? Like you in my crib, you listen to what the fuck I say, and you do what the
That's a
fuck I
black
do.
people thing.
I
That is
have
a
to take
black
care.
people
I
thing.
don't have to whoop your ass. Like now, you ain't even gotta whoop a kid. That's what's so crazy about it. An ass whooping ain't even the worst thing you could do to a kid nowadays. The worst thing you can do is take the phone, any electronic.
Hmm.
You take any electronic. You take all the electronics, it's over with. That motherfucker going crazy in the
But that's
room.
that's exactly my point.
I want to bring it back. I was asking, like, should we separate ourselves from just the foreign blacks? Because it seems like how Breeze was talking beforehand, like they have a sense of community, but they don't necessarily understand what it means to be African
Exactly.
American. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they don't show a respect
Exactly.
to what our ancestors have been through, what we've endured, and all of us here, what our grandparents endured.
Hmm.
Like, come on, it ain't even been that long ago. Like, our grandparents literally were a part of the shit
Civil
that
rights.
yeah, like we read it in history books. Like those are our grandparents ever. Like some even our parents. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
so, it's like when you see these first generation Americans or these immigrants come over here and they're just propping up, a white supremacist and shitting on black culture. It's like you do realize, like Hove said in what was that, 2017? Hove said in 2017, still nigga. Like you doing all this, but at the end of the day, they don't care about you either. You still a nigga to them.